Hello and welcome to The Print. We have with us a special guest, former MLA of Rajasthan, Manvendra Singh. Welcome to The Print.
Thank you.
Lok Sabha elections are going on. First phase is all set to take place on 19th April. What exactly are you doing here in Rajasthan, considering you were earlier with the Congress, you have now joined the BJP? What is it that you are doing right now?
At the moment, I'm in a temple fasting for Navratri. And originally, I was in the BJP. There were circumstances which intervened for the 5-year period in the Congress. And the circumstances have changed, and I've returned back to the BJP just last week. So that's, brought on new responsibilities and new challenges, but with the old team together. So that's the new stuff that I'm doing.
But what's wrong with the Congress? Why is it that you joined and then left?
No, I think it's not fair to say there's something wrong. I mean, I joined largely because of my affection and friendship with Rahul Gandhi.
Okay.
And he saw me in in pretty difficult circumstances, and and all the harassment that was happening to me and the family, and his kindness, made him intervene and offered me membership and affection, and that sort of made me join him, join the party because of him. And but then that that affection doesn't translate on ground in Rajasthan with various leaders, and local sharks resent direct friendship in Delhi. They think that anything in Delhi should go through Jaipur and go through them. So there was always some niggling problems happening for the last 5 years, policy matters as well as personal matters. So that I thought it's enough time, and then things changed within the BJP. The headaches and the roadblocks were removed.
What roadblocks are we talking about?
Roadblocks are always political, and those roadblocks were removed. And I don't want to add to more controversy and by dropping names.
But are you talking about Vasundhara Rajes?
I'm talking about roadblocks. I mean, you can interpret roadblocks to be anybody, or any person, or any group that you want to. But so those were removed, and so then made it possible. And they were, the welcoming was instant, because that's what I grew up with. The friends and all the people I know in politics are largely from this lot. Friendship with Rahul will remain, because that's the fondness that was from there before.
But at the state level, you're finding it difficult? You had no problem with Congress as far as National Congress is concerned?
I only knew, basically, I have 2 friends in the Rajasthan Congress, and then my friendship with Rahul. Of course, you know people, because you are Indian, and these are all Indian citizens, and you know them as Indian nationals, and some you're more friendly with, some you're not. And
right.
But to say that sense of belonging for an organization didn't really happen, because I was so dependent on a limited number of friends to sustain this membership. And but my friendship will remain as it is, because that wasn't made by this association. It was made it happened earlier. So, but that's the new challenge.
Many were expecting that you would be fielded from Barmer. Also, the current MPs, it seems like he's quite unpopular. He himself has given a statement that this vote is for Modi ji. आप उनको मेरे इसके असफलता की सजा ना दीजिए. So how do you see that?
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation, but to be honest, I don't think I was emotionally and physically ready to take on an electoral challenge, and which would be a bruising one, because I was, I had recently been hospitalized, and I'm still, dependent on physiotherapy for making up movements, hand and other, parts of the body are still recovering. So I don't think it would have been physically and emotionally possible. Yeah, every election is a challenge, whoever the candidate, incumbent is, and especially if you are an incumbent and a minister.
Right.
So the expectations are more, and So since I've come here, I've been mostly in the temple fasting. So haven't really gone out in the field. And after certain medical checkups, I will. And let's see.
But will you be campaigning for him?
Yeah, I'll be campaigning for the party. I mean, the CM was candid enough to tell me that I have a larger responsibility than one seat. So I'd like to fulfill that responsibility.
There are many, who are joining the BJP in thousands. I mean, if we talk about Madhya Pradesh, we talk about Rajasthan, and a lot of people are saying that, BJP talks a lot about ideology. But, so many people who are joining are obviously not from that particular ideology. So has ideology become fluid, and it doesn't matter that today one is in X party and then they will join the Y and then again back to X? What does it mean for politics overall, and how are the voters going to perceive it?
I think if you look at technology in the last 10 years and how technology has changed politics globally, I think the role of social media has also had a role in diluting the value of ideology, and the sheer spectacle of social media creates an aura which makes that one particular person or that person's group as compelling members to a party. And so I think and when you are in the game of electoral politics, where the purpose is to win an election, then you look for the best possible situation, and you think that creating more masses, or your critical mass should keep developing to win an election, and that's the real driver in this game. And also I think some people just lack the patience to sustain in their parent party. I mean, I ran out of patience from all the the bruising treatment that was happening. I felt that I was alone, and so I had to make my way out to save myself and save the family. So I mean, everybody must have their own circumstances.
But if you remember, you had once said that people of Rajasthan will take revenge on BJP for insulting my father. And I mean, I'm saying in terms of how people see it, and now you're back to the BJP. So how will you counter that?
No, I think I said this in
2018,
sometime in October 2018 or September.
Right.
And I think it's fair enough to say that the state election result went adversely in 18, and since then circumstances have changed, and what I said earlier in terms of the hindrances and the roadblocks.
But why are you not explaining those hindrances?
I mean, it's so obvious, and I don't want, I'm not in the. I'm not
a lot
really,
of our voters, a lot of our viewers are very young people who might not even know the history behind you are living and joining.
I know. So I like them to read, read the articles to figure out, rather than watch, little clips.
No, which is why we are doing the interview. So
I
that
understand
you
you're
could
doing the
explain.
interview for that,
Yeah.
but also, I think a lot of the new young, viewers, as you said, they need to read more rather than just watch clips. And so I'm sure if they read, they'll figure out, what I mean. It's also not in my nature to, badmouth somebody. Past is past. You have to move on. And the whole purpose of, doing what I am doing is to move on in life. It's a family decision, but not everybody is, on the same frequency. But most of us in the family are, and we've decided that it's time to move on and be with the people that we grew up with, and who have been always been extremely warm, but now they are free to express their warmth.
So assembly elections have already taken place in Rajasthan. You yourself said that you are right now, you don't feel fit enough to probably, take the role of at least
Candidate.
a Lok Sabha election as a candidate. So what next? What responsibility do you think you are ready to take on now, or probably you will be in the next few months?
Yeah, I will be. I mean, I can see growth. I can see improvement in the last 1 month since my various wires were removed from my hand and stitches in the body. And I think by the time the election process is over, I'll be far better, far fitter to handle responsibilities. I don't know what the responsibilities come to me, because I haven't asked for any responsibility. I haven't, unlike any other arrangement, there's
When
no.
you joined.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, this is where I belonged earlier, so there's no question of asking that you do this and I do that. So it's a it's a sense of being part of, or returning to the returning to the pavilion in that sense, returning to the family, and so whatever it comes my way, I'll handle that. I haven't asked for anything.
You talked about Congress, that how at the state level how things were not in a good shape. As far as BJP is concerned, even at the state level, we all know that there's always some sort of infighting, some sort of rebellion, which we also witnessed before the Lok Sabha election. Some of the candidates have switched side to Congress. We are seeing that supporters of Vasundhara Rajes have been saying that she's not been given her due. She's not campaigning actively is also something that we keep hearing. How do you see this entire BJP as a divided house as far as Rajasthan is concerned?
I won't say it's a divided house. I think the dramatic change that was instituted in the BJP in terms of leadership and political profile, the dramatic change in December 23, it takes time for a lot of people to adjust to it. It takes time for those who've been given responsibility to adjust to the new responsibility, especially when it is so unexpected. In a bigger sense, I mean, of course, some of it was clearly expected, but how it was managed was something different. So I think these are challenges that happen when there's major change, and especially since so soon after the major change you get into election mode again for the national election. So in terms of adjusting the state administration, in terms of adjusting the state political party organization, a lot of it has been put on hold until this election process is over and this code of conduct is removed. So yeah, of course, until then people will look to be in angst and aggrieved, and because so and so is not getting the profile that they deserve or want or get. But it's always not possible that only one person gets the profile every time, or a few people get the profile all the time. I mean, politics is all about opportunity. For when it comes, you grab it, and people have grabbed it and they're making the best of it.
So BJP has gone for a complete leadership change in Rajasthan as far as the Chief Minister is concerned. He's a first time MLA. People were expecting that maybe Vasundhara Rajes or even Jaswant Singh Shekhawat, even other names were being considered, but no one had even thought about the Chief Minister. So how do you see that? Do you think that BJP is now sort of mastered the art of going for something completely different and something which one cannot even predict?
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was totally certain that the selection of Chief Minister would be completely beyond the expected list of names. I was very sure of that, and this is the second time I've been sure of some decision, and it's come true within the BJP. And because the idea was to stamp a new culture of governance, and I think that's the effort that has gone in this decision. But then it takes time for it to adjust, the decision to adjust, and also the incumbents to adjust to the new responsibilities and challenges. So yeah, I think the fact that it has happened is and they have the guts to do it, and the fact that it has succeeded in various places.
Right.
It hopefully should succeed in Rajasthan as well, because I think the success mechanism depends a lot on maintaining the equilibrium within the state, especially with the MLAs and the organization. And I think generally Rajasthan is a very placid, politically placid state. It doesn't tend to get into major, agreements and major, conflicts. And it's pretty, in that sense, it's politically lazy compared to its size.
I talked about it earlier, but I just want to specifically also talk about how many are saying that the former Chief Minister Vasundhara Rajes has not been actively campaigning. Her supporters are saying that she has not got her dues in the party. She had represented party earlier, and she should have been given a major role. How do you see that, her role in the party?
I mean, how do you give somebody a major role who's been a Chief Minister in the state? I mean, bigger than Chief Minister, the Governor. and obviously she can't become governor of Rajasthan. And since then, the process has been, Lok Sabha focused. And she's obviously focused on Jhalawar, Bara,
Where her son is
where
contesting
Dushyant is
from.
contesting. So obviously, I think the focus is there. And I had, this temple, we had visitors here from Jhalawar for darshan. And I asked them how things were, and they said, both are very active, and she's campaigning in Jhalawar, she's campaigning in Bara, she's, doing village stops, which were not done earlier. So she's active in her own way.
But not like across the state.
Well, it really depends on the person campaigning, where they want to focus, where they think is priority. There's a list of star, campaigners, and the star campaigners also have their choice where they want to go. Where they're familiar with, they're easygoing, accepting. So, and this is, we are nearing the first phase now. The second phase is yet due. I mean, second phase is all this Jodhpur, Udaipur, this belt. So let's see.
Have you met her after joining?
I haven't met her. I've just been, for a few days now. I've just been here in the temple. I haven't been outside the temple yet.
But do you intend to in the coming few days?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, once the election is over and then you bump into somebody in Jaipur, I will certainly meet her.
There's a term that is being
She
used.
came to me in the hospital very warmly.
Okay.
So I'm not, I'm not holding any, grief on that.
There's a term that is being used by the opposition to, sort of explain this entire mechanism of ED, CBI, that machinery that is being used to target opposition leaders, and at the same time, those who join the BJP, they've used the term washing machine, that suddenly if there were any cases against them, they get shut. How do you counter that at a time when something like this is happening and you have joined the BJP?
I'll counter it with a matter of fact. I'm not somebody who boasts about things or, talks publicly, but I can vouch for myself that as soon as this Delhi liquor policy was announced and began to be implemented, I took details of the policy from my friends and I shared it with the union minister, saying that this is a major scandal, this is brewing. And this, I think, is about 2.5 years ago. I remember candidly sharing details with our union minister, which obviously must have been shared earlier because, it was such a racket. It was so blatantly a racket for the Delhi excise, people, that I had to share it with people I knew. And, so I will not fall for that ED, CBI thing on this matter because I know for a fact, having seen documents.
So you're saying Arvind Kejriwal is not being targeted?
He is being targeted for being guilty, which I think is, which is fair, because I know for a fact what they did with the excise policy in Delhi was a complete scam, and I wasn't in the BJP then, and I shared it with union ministers because I knew that this guy was, raking it. Something was happening which was not right.
But many are also naming Ajit Pawar, who was in the NCP, then formed the government with the BJP, the cases that were against him, that now there's a complete silence on that.
Yeah, but are the cases being withdrawn? I'm not sure if they've been withdrawn.
But nothing, as such, nothing is happening on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's for the state government to handle because that's I think that investigation is a state investigation. So I think the state government, that question is best put to them. I don't follow Maharashtra politics. So I won't be able to answer that question on the investigation.
You mentioned Rahul Gandhi as a dear friend. What I would like to ask, because many have pointed it out that many say that his ideas are quite right, but the people around him are not giving him the best advice. You were with the Congress. If I have to ask you, what do you think is not, as far as the Congress is concerned, what is it that is not working out for it?
I don't really care, what's not working with the Congress, but I care, as a friend of Rahul. I won't say that people around him are, not good advisors. I would think that, his style of functioning and his vision for the party and for his politics is not finding traction with certain established, state sharks. Okay. And they resist the change that he wants to institute. I would, you could even call it generational change, you could call it cultural change, whatever you want to call it. I think they resist his efforts, and that's why things are not falling in place as far as he's concerned. And he's trying.
But you've seen the Congress culture, if we are to call it, at close quarters, right?
I have seen it, but I won't say I saw it at close quarters. I saw it largely through him whenever I got the exposure. But yeah, I saw it in the state, certainly. And, I mean, the fact that, at the local level, people who lied through their teeth can, still survive and grow.
Many felt that, the way he should have handled the Ashok Gehlot Sachin pilot issue, it was not done properly, and that is what led to the entire rebellion, or the so-called rebellion of Sachin Pilot, and which is why the state unit of Rajasthan, is in a way in shambles.
To be honest, I don't think, he can pull the heavy weight by himself. And that's an unfair burden to put on him or anybody, to expect that one person can handle all the, luggage, lug it around, against all wishes, against resistance. It's physically, and it's not possible psychologically. So I won't say that he handled badly. I think there were various other people who were responsible. So that deed is done. It's gone.
The 2024 elections, the BJP is showcasing Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the work done by his government at the centre. What about 2029? Will we still see PM Modi at the helm of affairs, or will we see a sort of a leadership change as far as the BJP is concerned?
It's too far away. You haven't even finished this phase, and you're jumping to the next.
No, because he turned 75, and there's this unwritten rule in the BJP.
Rule,
yeah.
And
which is why I'm asking that what happens after 75.
It may be a new person, may be continuity. Who knows? I mean, let's get over this hurdle first, this challenge and this this phase, and see what's going to happen. I mean, there's a crisis which is brewing in our neighborhood in West Asia, which is a very serious crisis, and it's something that's been building up for 75 years, and how that crisis is going to impact on us as a country and the globe, it could be devastating, because it's a major clash which is brewing, and we better be prepared for it, because it's taken so long, it's been suppressed for so long, and it's just.
But so far, how has Prime Minister Narendra Modi handled it as far as the relations with other countries are concerned?
I mean, he's not saying it directly, which is not his job also. But I think the fact that Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, has been emphatic in the last 1-2 months. He's been so emphatic on a two-state solution and turning down tensions, and I think that's the only way to do it. I mean, you can't pretend that this crisis didn't exist for a long time. It's not a creation of 7th October. It's a creation of 1947, 1937. However far back you want to go, you'll find instances that created conditions for the matter to keep brewing, and to pretend that something that happened in Europe can be transplanted on Asia and be accepted hook, line and sinker. Not happen. It can't happen.
But do you think since PM Modi took over the reins of India as the Prime Minister, has the image of India changed as far as the world is concerned?
The image, I mean, by all accounts, with all the various international awards and international accolades and agreements that happen and that keep getting announced, I can't see how the image hasn't changed. If the image hasn't changed, why would anybody give these awards or give these agreements, agree to have a India Europe road economic exchange, or transportation exchange? There is some traction that has happened, and the idea is to build on it, and so the next stage is to keep building on what has already been constructed.
But we have seen many prime ministers. But do you think that the major change has taken place under him? Is what generally that's how the BJP likes to put it out.
I would think that the biggest change that happened in India since 1947 was the nuclear test of 1998, where after testing, India declared itself an explicit, overt nuclear power. That was the biggest change in terms of foreign policy, security policy, economics, any other policy that you can think of.
And now the 2024 elections, what do you think is going to happen? How do you see the BJP is going to perform?
You know, I'm dependent on people like you for my information. I don't follow social media. I read news, and all of you seem to be giving it a one-way result. And so let's see. I mean, I think maybe for the first time people will be so correct that it'll actually be one way.
But you must be interacting with party leaders. What's their
Not
sentiment?
really. I mean, I haven't. I've been unwell for various reasons, or one reason, and so my interaction has been very limited since then. I've mostly been here in Rajasthan and not out of Rajasthan, and also Jaipur and Jodhpur and this part. So I haven't really met in a larger sense leaders, but there is a confidence, no doubt there is a confidence, and but BJP being BJP is not taking anything for chance. It's not taking anything for granted. So the efforts are, superhuman, and that's why you have all this, influx of various people joining.
We haven't really, discussed your father, Jaswant Singh. How do you see his contribution as far as, India is concerned? And at the same time, he was with the BJP, then later he decided to contest as an independent candidate. What went wrong, and how do you think, as you pointed out, many things have changed in the BJP. Do you think if he would have been alive, he would be happy with the way BJP is functioning today, considering we have seen the BJP of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lal Krishna Advani, how the senior leaders have been treated by the BJP?
I think that period where, where he was denied a ticket, when after being given assurances, and his desire to contest one last time without any other expectations. I think the fact that was thwarted. I think the people who were in the ring deciding it. I think those people instituted a culture which is not there. They are not there, and the culture is not there anymore. I think the acceptance of a certain variety of candidates is far more, as you can see from the type of people being put up. So obviously, the new culture of welcoming other people, other new candidates in so many places. I mean, Assembly and Lok Sabha. There is a time where people have to move on, and this is the time to move on and get new faces in. And as I said earlier, it's about elections and about winning elections. So you have to be electorally acceptable also to make it.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. This is Neelam Pandey reporting with Devesh Singh Gautam from Jodhpur.